Hello and welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about our fetishes, and we've already covered about half of these, but I figured since I'm making the fetish video I would just quickly run over all of them. And now it's really hard to show gameplay of the fetishes effects, so I'm just going to throw up gameplay and I'll just discuss each fetish as we go. Now, real quick before we got into this, the update got pushed back a little while. They said a few weeks. They haven't announced a release date as far as I know. And I was reading over the patch notes, and it doesn't sound like it's just a few weeks away. It sounds like it'll be a little bit longer than that. Especially being that post was launched a little while ago. So, because it's been a couple weeks since they did that post. So, in that time, being that I make content on this game, I put a lot of hours in this game. And it's starting to get a little bit stale, which is to be expected. It's an unfinished game, and I'm just dumping hours into it. So I've gone back and started using weapons that I don't typically use. And I just wanted to say real quick, if you like the hypnosis, I'm sorry, dude. I think this gun sucks. It's so slow. So if you get annoyed by the gameplay, just know, one, I don't use it very often, and I'm not used to how fucking slow that gun is. Now, to get into the fetishes, I guess we'll just go top to bottom. And the first thing we have is Bittersweet Nightshade. So the tooltip says not just the witch's plant. It's widely used to protect both man and beast from a variety of threats and maladies. With certain dark rituals done under the moonlight, its aura can gain the power of, curiously enough, the sun. When low on health, any damage taken makes the fetish release a powerful shockwave. So it works pretty much just like that spell Shockwave, except you have to hit that health threshold. So the health threshold is 40%. The shockwave range is 60 meters, which is a really large area. Shockwave damage is 30, which is not much at all. And then it can stun enemies. Now, as far as the usefulness on this, I don't think it's all that great. I honestly, if I had to put it on a tier list, this would be like C in my personal opinion. But it does exactly what it says. There's not much to go off of with this. I haven't found a good way to make this like super useful. I don't ever run Bittersweet Nightshade. I think it's one of the weaker ones in the game. Let me know what your opinions are on it. Now we come to Henbane, which in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure the whole community's opinion, has been the top of the fetish since the game was released in early access. So, bizarre thoughts, vivid hallucinations, and a sensation of flight. These are the effects of Henbane. Which is favorite? Workshop herbalists are scared of the Henbane's power, and thus limit their interest to the healing properties of small doses. Significantly increases the effectiveness of healing elixirs. Now, it gives you 125% healing. Now, I don't know if that's like on top of whatever you're healing already, because it does say plus 125%. But I'm not a doctor. I just know you heal for a fucking lot when you use this. You also get huge damage reduction on consuming an elixir. 70%. The damage reduction duration is 8 seconds, and then it cuts your healing time in half. It's just so damn strong. Now, with the introduction of the incense, you don't need to be running this all the time, and honestly, you can run whatever you want. But if you want to have a good time and not feel squishy or whatever, Henbane's pretty damn good. But now it does have some decent competition. I still think that this is probably the best damn fetish, which is a little bit annoying to say, because this thing's been so powerful for so long. You think, you know, maybe in the update they'll release something that's just as good as this. Who knows? I'm not the biggest proponent of nerfing stuff. I wish that they would just bring up, you know, buff the ones that are weaker. But it is what it is. Henbane is, if I had to put it on a tier list, obviously it's like top of the board, S tier, and what have you. I think everybody knows about Henbane. Everybody probably runs Henbane. Now, we get into Monkswood. A highly toxic and poisonous herb, the touch of which is often fatal. Through the wickedness of witchcraft, forced to emanate a protective aura. Absorbing a manifestation crystal adds a magical shield that neutralizes any damage once and then dissipates. You can have a max of 5 shields at a time, and you have a 70% chance to gain an extra shield when gaining a shield. And then you have a 25% chance that your shield won't break on impact. This is one of the competitors, in my opinion, with Henbane. Obviously, because if you're not taking damage, then you don't need to heal. And with the introduction of stuff like the Angelus and Monkswood, you can make builds that just don't take damage, which is pretty great. And now I'm hoping, because this Witch Mountain sounds a lot like kind of a boss run. I don't know what it's going to be, but from the description that they gave us, it kind of sounds like it's, instead of camps, it's just boss after boss after boss. Which, I think something like this, if you're getting those manifestations after each boss, could be absolutely useful. Now, we get into Belladonna. It's very similar to Monkswood. Also known as Ceres du Diablo and Deadly Nightshade, this rare ingredient is vital in rituals of death and life. The latter is harder to achieve, but the workshop never sleeps. A regenerating aura that fully shields against minor damage but allows any stronger attack to penetrate. So Monkswood, as where that one will, you only get 5 at a time, and you only get them whenever you absorb a manifestation, it will negate all damage, whereas this one is on a timer. It has unlimited uses, but it only works for minor enemies. It also has a damage threshold of 25 HP, the shield cooldown's about a minute, and then getting hit shortens the shield's cooldown by 12 seconds. So if you're just getting absolutely pummeled, this thing will be up all the time. Drinking an elixir also instantly recharges the shield, so you can have the shield damn near permanently when done right. You will take more damage, especially from mages, obviously, because it doesn't negate their damage. All in all, I think it's a fairly nice one. I would run this with Angelus. Just, you know, you pop the Angelus shield, then you're kind of wanting to have that sustained fire while you have the alt fire, and then this will kind of help you so you can keep shooting and not take so much damage. Balewort. This one sounds cooler than I think it is. I've never had great luck with this one. A painkiller and sleep inducer with unfortunate side effects of apoplexia, epilepsy, lethargy, paralysis, loss of memory, and even death. Tamed by the Vatican herbalists to turn witchfire into a gentle healing essence. When below half health, killing enemies can turn their witchfire into a healing essence that regenerates a bit of health when picked up. Now, I don't care for the fact that it only kicks in when you're at half health. I think if it was like 75% health, this would be much better. But how it works is you have a 40% chance to drop a healing essence off of an enemy on a kill. The essence will stay there for 6 seconds. You have to get within 3 meters to pick it up, and it will also recharge your spell per essence. So it's really good if you're running like a cricket spell build, but like I said, it doesn't seem to be all that useful whenever you have to get to half health. Now, I guess you could pair this with those, like, the Scourge or the Arcanum that makes it to where the less health you have, the more damage you do, and then pair that with a spell-oriented cricket build, and this thing could be incredible, but I just, personally, I never noticed this thing working all that well. And now, last but not least, we have Mandrake, and honestly, I take that back, it is last and least. This is possibly the most useless one. You'd be better running anything else. Let me put it that way. Let me just go ahead and go through it all, and then I'll discuss my thoughts on it. A potent humanoid-shaped root that grows under the gallows where a hanged man's blood, urine, or semen stained the earth. Fucking autoerotic asphyxiation, you know what I'm saying? Prevents fatal damage once per expedition. Activates, restores some health, fully recharges spells, and grants a few seconds of immunity to any incoming damage. So it's kind of like Henbane's shitty cousin. This thing only works a single time per raid. Whenever you take fatal damage, meaning you die, it will heal you to full. You have 7 seconds of immunity. While immune, your light spells charge instantly, and your weapon damage is super high for 7 seconds out of a raid. If this thing would go off more than once, I think it would have a decent chance of being good, but being that you only get the effects once, I think that you'd be so much better off taking anything else. Like, if you get Belladonna or Monkswood, you don't have to worry about getting that fucking low. If you take Henbane, you don't have to worry about getting that low. Balewort is useful all the time that you're under 50% health, and Bittersweet nightshade, as long as you're healing your damage back, every time you hit 40% health it goes off. Why do we have one that only works a single time? I don't understand it. And it's like the effects are super cool. I would almost rather it just have a super long cooldown. Like, say a 5-minute long cooldown. I don't know. Or maybe just the resurrection thing only happens once, but the other effects can happen multiple times. Something. This thing fucking needs something. So, yeah. We'll go through I guess my tier list here. So we got Bittersweet Nightshade, C, Henbane, S, Monkswood, and Belladonna. I'll put both of those in the A tier. Balewort I'll put in B. And then Mandrake I'll put in fucking Y for why the fuck is this a thing? I don't know. Let me know if you like this one. I don't see a reason why you would ever take this over anything else other than to run memes. So, next time around we'll be discussing all of the rings, and this will be a long video because I can actually show almost all of these effects. So if you enjoyed, then like and subscribe. If you didn't, then don't. Either way it goes though, have yourself a very fine day.